Hi guys, today is the final episode of season 1 of Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur. We've had 4 previous beautiful episodes, and today I'm not really teaching about anything. I'm just here to review season 1 and tell you guys what season 2 is going to look like. By the way, season 2 is coming back on the 4th of May. That is roughly 2 weeks from now. So I'm going to talk about what season 2 is going to look like, and then I'm going to talk about what really Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur is all about. I'm going to introduce myself properly. I'm going to try to share my vision with you guys so that you understand it from my perspective. And then I am also going to talk about a few lessons that I picked from season 1 that I believe are super important for me to share. So in season 1, like I said, we had 4 episodes. The first episode, I talked about a small business necessities. For those who've watched, if you can remember, this is where I talked about business registration. I gave you guys a glimpse of how the SEPA website looks like and how you can register your business. And then I talked about why business plans are important for small businesses. And then on the second episode, I talked about the truth about just starting any business, especially small businesses. This is where I talked about sales being slow for some businesses. And then this third episode, this is where I covered small business partnerships amongst Botswana, where I talked about it being a stereotype that businesses that exist among Botswana do not succeed. And then the final episode, the 4th episode rather, this is where I invited a mental health enthusiast, Bridget Bokang, where she talked to us about mental health in small businesses. She covered mental health in small businesses looking like fear of failure. She also talked about striking a balance between taking good care of your mind and also how the business can continue operating while you're taking a break. Okay, so that's really how season 1 looked like. And then season 2. Season 2 looks a lot more like conversations with other local entrepreneurs, because the mandate of this podcast and show rather is to really hold practical and profound conversations where local entrepreneurs come with their experiences, both good and bad. I'll be bringing in a lot of local entrepreneurs. You can expect topics like balancing your corporate job with entrepreneurship or side hustle, whatever you want to call it. And then we're also going to talk about how to start and run your business as a tertiary student, because I believe there are other tertiary students who get to watch this and would appreciate that kind of information. And then you can also expect topics like how to get your small business or just a business, how to get your business out of debt, because I think we can appreciate that both small businesses and large companies are in debt. Not all of them, obviously, but quite a lot of businesses are in debt. And so we're going to talk about how to escape debt and how to get your business out of debt. That's season 2 and other topics, right? All right, and then back to season 1. I think I want to review the season with you guys on a live video. So I'm thinking Friday evening around 7 p.m. or Saturday morning. You guys comment and tell me which day and what time is comfortable for most of you. And then there's some of you who post questions to me on the DMs, asking a few questions about some of the things that I talked about in season 1, and this is where I'm going to be answering most of those questions. So tell me if you're comfortable with that. Saturday, Friday, live session, yes, no, maybe. Okay, still on season 1, I want to talk about what I learned, a few lessons that I personally picked just from starting Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur, right? So the main thing that I learned is that, you know what, if you have a vision, there is no such thing as limited resources. And I know that most of the times we don't start things because we say, oh, I don't have money, I don't have resources, this and that. But I just want to say that I appreciate that, you know, if you have a vision or an idea burning down in the inside of you, and you believe that it's time to really start, then just go for it. Provision for whatever you want is going to come. I'm saying this because, as Christians, we believe there's a common line or a common phrase that we usually quote to say that when God gives you a vision, he'll give provision. And that line did not make sense to me until now, until I started Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur. So when I had this idea of this show, I pictured it as something really big, where I was like inviting, the big guys in Botswana's entrepreneurship space, and having it like the big cameras, everything that's just really sorted out. That's just how I thought I was gonna start it. That's how I wanted to start it, right? And then I didn't think it would be possible for me to start it as small as I did. I shared my vision with a friend of mine, and then she said, you know what, you can really just start this thing now, where you're not like interviewing anyone. You can just stand in front of the camera and talk about your experiences, because that's just what you want to do, right? I was like, nah, I need a mic and I need a proper camera, and and then one time I remember it just came to my mind, and I believe it was God pushing me to say that you can actually start it as small as you can. And then I took my Android phone and I started recording my videos. If most of you can go back to my very first videos, you can appreciate that the camera quality was not good, because I was just using my Android phone, no mic, no nothing, until my friends and my family started seeing my videos, and they supported my dream, they supported my vision. If I was to tell you guys that I did not even spend a cent in studying Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur, a friend of mine bought me this microphone, and then my other friend borrowed me 2 of her ring lights to enhance my lighting, and then my aunt borrowed me this camera. I'm using my aunt's camera right now, so I didn't even spend a cent. So this is just to say, when you have a dream, just put yourself out there, and whoever sees and understands your vision will know how to support you. So nowadays, I don't believe in such a thing as limited resources. I don't attach excuses to anything that I want to start or to anything that I dream of. I just believe that when it's time and you put yourself out there, everything you want will just come to you effortlessly, right? So that's the first lesson. And then the second thing that I learned from studying Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur is not to fear anything. So I used to really struggle with fear. I used to really struggle with fear to start, fear, will people really receive this thing that I'm trying to do positively, knowing that social media can be harsh and all of that. And then I conquered that fear and I just went with what I wanted. Anyway, that's it with what I learned from season 1. I think also I want to talk about what really Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur is all about. Right, why I started this whole thing, and just who I am. Like, who is this girl? What are you all about? What is Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur all about? Okay, so first of all, my name is Tebo Jennifer Nwako. So Jenny is my second name, but a lot of people who I grew up with and a lot of people who know me personally know me as Tebo, and then Jenny is just from Jennifer being my second name, but most people who I went to tertiary with from BAC with know me as Jenny, and that's just the name I like, so I thought let me go with it. So it's Jenny on socials, right? Please excuse my voice. I was screaming a lot over the weekend. I'm a 23-year-old. I'm from Bobonong. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm passionate about inspiring people. I'm passionate about speaking and holding meaningful conversations. And I'm just a girl that loves God and believes in God wholeheartedly. I studied an honors degree in entrepreneurship and business leadership from Botswana Accountancy College in 2019. And then I started Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur because, first of all, I'm just passionate about entrepreneurship. Like, apart from just studying it as a course or as a program, I'm just passionate about business. I think I've always known that I was going to be a business person from a very young age, before I even knew the career path that I wanted to take, right? Because I remember sometime last year, I was at my grandmom's house, and then I came across a very old journal of mine that I think I owned when I was still 13 years old. And bogologolo ne re di bitsa di diary, not journals. So I opened up that old journal of mine, and then I discovered that I had written down when I grow up I want to be a businesswoman. So I was like, so get with this thing. So I've always been passionate about it. And I also think my passion for entrepreneurship is influenced by the family that I originate from. So most people from my family are more passionate about business and entrepreneurship as compared to being in the corporate or like getting like a formal job kind of thing. So I think that's also where my passion for entrepreneurship originates from. And then, yeah, that's it about me. So what influenced me to start Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneurship is that being passionate about entrepreneurship and also being passionate about speaking. I love talking. I think nka bua the whole day. I don't know, but Batswana would call it go balabala. Yeah, I talk a lot and I don't mind talking the whole day. I could just literally do that for the rest of my life. Speak, right? So a combination of my passion for business, entrepreneurship, and speaking brought it together, and I thought, let me do this. And I always knew that I wanted to own or establish a podcast or some sort of show, whether a show on YouTube or a show on TV. I knew I always wanted to take that path. So I thought, let me start from this platform, from a social media platform. So I always knew I wanted to do a podcast. I wanted to have a podcast, but I really didn't know what I wanted the podcast to look like, or I didn't know the kind of content that I wanted to produce. And then until this year, I knew that, I think I would want to produce content that's along the lines of entrepreneurship. So, and then where the name Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur came from, I'd say God. I can't really remember where I got the title, I'd say God. So, and then I started it. Man. Okay, so the mission of Chronicles of a Young Entrepreneur is just really to inspire, to help, and to equip young people, to appreciate entrepreneurship more as a career, as an art, as a purpose, as something that you can solely do for the rest of your life. I'm trying to help young people know that entrepreneurship is a formal thing, is a formal thing. It's even there as a program of study in schools. It's not like just a side hustle thing or just something you do in your spare time. It's something that you can really do for the rest of your life and have it as your purpose. And I'm trying to teach young people that if you don't want to get a 9-to-5 job, it's fine. Like, it's really okay. And then more than just that, it's just me trying to bring practical conversations, like I already mentioned, from me and also other local entrepreneurs. But from now on season 2, I don't think you guys will see a lot of me alone sitting in front of the camera and speaking or teaching alone. I really just want to bring in other local entrepreneurs and hear their stories and appreciate the struggles and the challenges that they faced in the entrepreneurship journeys. Season 2 also looks like YouTube. It also looks like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Anchor, Deezer, and all of those podcast sources or platforms that you guys may be aware of. Alright guys, so I think I'm going to end the video here. I just want to say thank you so much. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been supportive, both behind the scenes and liking, commenting, sharing, just in any way that you supported me. I am very grateful. I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude right now. I cannot believe how this whole thing really unfolded. It's so beautiful. That's just it about season 1. Thank you so much for the support. Let's meet season 2. Bye.